I think that's everyone. Are we all here?
Anything.
All right, let me know when we're ready.
Ready.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Light Pneumatic, where we last left off. Um, let's see. We entered the mine fairly safely. We discovered a dead plant that wasn't quite dead and nearly killed Genevieve. We discovered more trash. We discovered a hole that goes down in the mine. Then we discovered a map of at least this level of the mine. Uh, Mine converted into Arboretum and maybe something else, anyways. And then everyone was retreating over to the right side after finding a short hidden passage and a short rest. Where we left off, I believe Shay was considering jumping down the hole to see what happens.
Shay was considering Cassie flying down the hole to see what happens.
Yeah, tomato, tomato.
I don't think so.
Anywho, did I miss anything?
Fun shortcut.
Yep, mentioned the shortcut.
One way, yeah.
We have video this week for our one viewer that occasionally
Ooh.
pops in.
Hi, viewer. We love you. In a platonic way. Don't get any ideas. And now we have 0 viewers. You're welcome.
All right. So where we left off, everyone had a short rest, and yeah, Shay, you had found another chamber. We had just described that these strange looking domed things were integrated into the cave wall and seemed to be a form of humanoid sized cage. Although the head area, you could actually probably crawl in as small creatures. Um, yeah, I
How's
think these.
Genevieve doing health wise?
I
Uh,
think she got some heals.
yeah, 19 out of 24.
Okay. Well, that's more HP than Shay has.
Eh, Kitlak's doing all right.
Didn't ask. I'm kidding.
Oh, I should open my notes page so I know what I'm talking about. All right, so yes,
So we're
what would
looking
you like?
for. So it the. I guess I can do this in character. Um, um, so we either go down one of these holes or we. There's She looks at the map. She still has the
You know,
map,
there's
right?
a path down over here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or we go round and down the long way.
Well, the hole would be quicker. I think it might be beneficial if we go the long way. I'd nay want to be stuck in a tight environment if something happens.
Well, let's keep an eye out for that dead vegetation and any of those other plants. I'll lead the way. I've got the map, and I'm yeah. We're also squishy.
Kitlek and Cassie, did you want to see the chamber or not?
Go ahead, lead on.
Yeah. So this time, Shay, instead of her doing her signs on the right side as she did before, which are all gone at this point, she's gonna do it on the left side this time because yeah, it didn't work out so great last time.
Well, you have your little markers over here.
We lost someone.
Oh, we still see you in Discord, Tyler. That's why.
Well, he said he's pretty sure his computer crashed.
Also, there is an image, minus the shade, of what the Crimson Plateau kind of looks like. Think more advanced houses than that, but that's kind of it.
And Tyler dropped off a Discord.
Bugger. We don't have to worry about the BBC
That's not
censors
good.
here, so that's fine. That's okay. We will wait.
I'm thinking when we get back to civilization, might need to look for some something to make me a little tougher. That way I can take some better hits for y'all.
I think the best idea for our group is just to spread out the hits, or not get hit at all. Which, yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Yep, welcome back.
The
Where
only
did
thing
we
that we've
lose you?
yeah,
Uh, Pretty immediately. It's hard for me to tell because I thought everyone's just being quiet for a sec, but my computer kind of lagged to hell and back, and I realized that I wasn't getting any audio at all, so I had to force restart everything.
Okay, so basically we discussed either going down the hole or going the long way, and Genevieve made the fairly valid point that if we're gonna get stuck fighting something, it's probably not best to do it in a tight space.
Yeah,
And
Kitlak's going to agree with that. Is This has proven to be just about as deadly as advertised. I would prefer to be in a place where we have an escape route ready.
and then Cypher had wanted to know if you wanted to check out this room at all.
Yeah, I would like to roll a general investigate just to see if I can find any like clues or interesting garbage here. Like that would be ideal. My
okay.
tabletop is still loading in.
That's okay. Well, wait a second. I also sent a picture that gives a likeness, but not exactly accurate, of what the Crimson
Hmm.
Plateau kind of looks like. So you can enjoy that. Um, we can wait till you're back in game for you to roll that.
You can go ahead and roll it for me.
Who would like to roll for Tyler?
Not me. I
I
rolled
will.
terribly last game. These dice are cursed.
3.
Really?
Yeah. What did you get for your what's your investigation?
I need to get my character sheet up. Give me a sec. Um, so that's a total of 6.
Well, like I said before, this room doesn't really have much trash. Um, we determined that these alcoves carved into the wall are humanoid size, could be artisanal cages. Um, and what trash is in here is kind of just, it's not even a lot of this. It's like people don't want to come this far, which makes sense since over here is sort of a refuse pile of the biological kind.
Hmm. So like dissected frogs, that sort of thing. Gotcha.
More like waste
Yeah. No,
and the
I
parts
got you.
of a body that they decided not to eat for some reason.
and Shay is leading the way, and instead, this time she is putting her magic marks on the left side of the wall. All of our
And
previous marks have gone, so it's not like we can
as I've
get
mentioned, they're
confused.
over to the right by the clock. You can just grab one and place it.
So yeah, whenever there's an intersection,
Oh, I'm hearing Jester.
oh, did you hear that? She's upstairs. My goodness.
Yep, sure could.
I just got home, and she wants to hang out and play. She is leading the way, assuming everyone is following her.
Yeah, Kitlag will as well.
She's looking for dead vegetation on the ground,
Kitlag's
or
gonna follow pretty close.
yeah, the we've got a map, but I figure the
So
symbols
at
that
this
are.
intersection here that you just passed, that led, if you followed it all the way back to the plant room, there were these three other rooms, and then there's this one where you're headed. So you can check back
Yeah.
those ways that you didn't go. There aren't any plants on the ground that you can see so far.
Yeah, there's some rooms back that way to the right, but I think we should go further down, and the map says it's this way. Unless you want to. I mean, we could take a vote if you want, but
I'm good with going
Kitlag is, yeah,
down.
just following you. He's not gonna say nothing.
This chamber you enter, there seem to be some alcoves kind of carved out, but there's nothing in them. Um, there is some trash here, but as you go further in, there seems to be less and less. There's a bit of pile over here, and yeah, otherwise there's just these strange curved alcoves every now and then against the wall.
you want to do some more dumpster diving, or are we gonna press on?
Kitlag's gonna kind of passively check around. He's not gonna like dedicatedly take any time here.
Same.
Investigation.
Genevieve is going to
It's
do the
a
same.
it's a 9, hot 9 for Kitlag.
You find a broken sword. You don't know why there's a broken sword in here, but there's a broken sword in here.
Hmm. Ooh.
Ooh,
Ooh, a nat 20. All right. Let me see.
a broken sword is what they give you at the start of Dark Souls. Just I don't know if that means anything.
Yep. It
I
means we're
guess
about
that
to fight a Dark
Cassie will
Souls
do it
boss.
still.
What's the first boss called? I forgot.
He's got to rebuild the broken sword to get his legendary.
I don't really remember the first boss of Dark Souls. I do know Soldier of Godric though. That guy I remember.
You find. Let me see. This is going to be interesting. With a nat 20, what do you find? You find
A toaster oven.
some chainmail.
Ooh.
Um, it is strange. It has a bit of a purple tinge to the metal rings. The padding seems almost like woven plant fibers that have turned into padded cloth, and the belts are of a leather you don't recognize the animal of. Uh, it's a bit heavy, but it is fully intact, surprisingly enough.
Nice. Um, she does not have anything to put that in, so she is going to find a nice little corner and she's
I
going
mean,
to.
you have two bags of holding in your group.
Are they big though? I thought they were just small bags of holding, or are they regular bags of
They're
holding?
regular except for Shay, who has a unusually pouch-sized one, which
Okay.
is for coins
She no
specifically.
longer has it. She gave it to,
Oh yeah, to Cassie for safekeeping.
you know, she'll need it back 'cause she doesn't want to give it back to her friends.
Then Genevieve will pull it out and be like, "Well, this looks valuable. Cassie or Kitlat, can I put it in one of your bags?"
Dibs on it not being mine. I don't really want to inflict indigestion on myself.
Yeah,
I don't,
certainly, I don't mind.
I don't think that's how it works.
Genevieve will put it in Cassie's bag.
Would anyone else like to examine the armor before it goes in the bag?
She's kind of already moving on. She doesn't care. She thinks it's all trash.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think Cassie is going to spend the time right now to examine it.
All right, noted.
I don't think Gitlak really cares enough.
Yeah, if they're basically all moving on, Genevieve wouldn't waste time. She'll
Yeah.
consider it later.
Yeah, right now Cassie's more concerned with staying alive, so.
All right, you all move to the next chamber. There are also some carved walls and also a bit more of junk. Kind of around there and there. And Kitlak, you found the last one, so you get to. Would you like to examine this room in detail?
Uh, sure, why not? If we're taking a minute. That's a hot 6.
Uh, with a hot 6, yeah, no, you don't notice. Um, yeah. Anyone else want to check anything, or are you good?
She does not care about trash. Is Genevieve going ahead for something, or
No, I just moved her in there.
okay.
Yeah, I guess Cassie will examine this one too. That is a 13.
A 13. You don't see anything about the trash, but something in the back of your kobold mind is saying there's something else about this room. You just can't pinpoint what.
Cassie is going to make a very audible.
Hmm.
What is it, Cassie?
I'm not quite sure. Something seems odd about this room.
At that Genevieve will go ahead and take a look around. Just checking something before I do. Yeah, no, she's
Does
got
the room
nothing.
does the room look different from the others?
I mean, like the last room, it has some walls that are carved out, but no, there's nothing quite obvious.
No,
Just
that's just
something
a 10.
with a 10. No, this was something that kind of tickled Cassie's hindbrain. Well, what was her hindbrain at one point in existence. Um, but she couldn't quite put her finger on it, so to speak.
I don't notice anything different about this room, Cassie. I trust you, but I don't notice anything.
Cassie just shakes her head.
Can you pinpoint
More
it,
than
or
anything else. No, it was more of a feeling than anything else.
Well, maybe if we have time on the way back up, we can look around some more.
let's um was it behind you? Was it in front of you? Was it I'll put a mark if you can kind of narrow it down a bit so that we can come back and look at it later.
No, like I said, I can't quite pinpoint it. It was just a feeling, like something's off.
I'll just put something right in the middle of the room so that we know that there's something here. And we'll come back and maybe look harder. But yeah, it just looks like more garbage to me. Oops, sorry.
I
I
will
mean,
tell you, Cassie, it wasn't the garbage, it was the room.
I'll have you know, not
Yeah,
everything
that
that we've seen is garbage.
Shay will look
yeah,
up.
that,
It's that she'll stamp on the floor to see if the floor feels different.
No, the floor feels the same.
Does it look like it could cave in, or
No, it actually looks very sturdy.
yeah, I don't know.
You could take 10 minutes and look around if you wanted, or you could move on. Your choice.
I'll leave it up to Cassie. Cassie, do you want to stay and look around some more?
I think it's safe to go. Like I said, I can't really quite say what is off about this place.
Was it a
Don't
good
really.
feeling or a bad feeling?
It's just a feeling. Like something was out of place. I couldn't tell you exactly what. Let's just move on.
Could Gitlak take one more gander around? Like
Sure,
with all these like feelings and vibes and everyone being a little bit off.
sure.
Um, Gitlak's going to use guidance as well on this one.
Okay.
That's better. That's 21. That is 24.
Right. With all of these feelings and discussions, you kind of ignore the junk. You examine the room. Okay, you have the odd carvings in there. You have the normal wall. You have a secret passage door. Wait. You have found another secret passage.
Is it another like rock that needs to get moved out of the way?
No, this one looks more like the other side where it's solid, but if you kind of unfocus your eyes, you can see the seams of as if something's been rolled into position. You're pretty
Mm-hmm.
sure this might be the illusion end. You don't know where the other end is.
Okay. Um,
It's also much bigger than the last one. Like this one, you
found
could
a
fit almost two people side by side.
Gitlak's going to clear his throat. Before we depart, I appear to have found a secret passage.
Another one?
Yes, this one is larger, and it appears to be the illusion end, right? Gitlak's going to wave his hand through the stone. Here.
Genevieve will walk back over and just sing, "Secret tunnel."
Secret tunnel.
Secret. Why do we call ourselves the Secret Tunnels? Wait, no, that's a terrible name.
Yes, I don't
That is
really
an
want to be
awful
known as
name.
that. Let's let's forget that was ever mentioned,
Sorry.
and we will probably all be happier for it.
It's immediately
No,
backfired.
that's in character. Don't worry about it.
Anyways, through the mountain.
Should we go through, or should we?
I
Do you
say
think it's a
one person, and then
shortcut?
Well, as you remember, the illusion side required something to trigger it to open it, and that was within the hidden tunnel. This one you don't know which side it's
It's
on or how to get
it's
through
not
it.
on the map at all. Is there anything on the map that shows that this might be a
The
secret tunnel?
this one, um, you don't know how to read any of the writing. None of you know how to read any of the writing. So you assume that the writing in this one mentioned was pointing towards. Well, there was no arrow, but it was in that room, and it seemed to lead downstairs. But you
Be-
don't know. Maybe it
uh,
was referring to the secret tunnel.
okay, since we now have two secret tunnels, is it possible that she might be able to pinpoint other secret tunnels based on just symbolism?
If roll me your just a general intelligence roll.
She's smart. That's a 5.
Well, there's writing on these two places of the map. These must be the only two secret tunnels, obviously.
Clearly. I'm trying not to make her sound like Snaps, but female. No. Candor.
Well, if this is the exit end, maybe the other side is further down.
But you can go through that wall, right? You found it, you investigate. I think those are the
it,
rules.
I'm not sure that's the fine. Kitlag is going to try and just go down the secret tunnel.
All right, roll me a strength athletics to push through an illusion.
Would that be strength athletics, or would that be like some kind of wisdom check? Like usually it's like perception or investigation or something.
That's be if you're looking for the secret way to make the illusion see through or deactivate it.
All right, well
You
that's a
said
hot
push
13. Yeah.
with a hot 13. It's not as solid. It's only semi-solid. It kind of hurts, but you can push through if you want.
Yeah, he's gonna do that.
All right. You push through, and you're going to take 3 force damage as you stumble into a. Actually, it looks a little more like a kind of a room with a tunnel leading off of it. In the room is a skeleton with boots.
Kitlak is going to take his hat and put it over his heart as a show of respect, then put the hat back on his head, and then take the boots.
Yes.
Just start shooting if there's any problems.
Is there anything special about these boots?
They are perfectly intact, given that that skeleton looks at least a few centuries old.
Mm-hmm. Kitlak is going to gingerly fold them and then stow them in his mundane backpack.
You can also roll me investigation if you want to check out anything else here.
How about just an Arcana check while Kitlak is stowing the boots, just to like see what their deal is?
Go for it.
I'm going to use Thingo on that as well. Guidance, that's the one. All right, that's a 6 plus 5, so it's 11 Arcana.
There is a hint of magic about them. Yes, not complicated magic, but magic
Mm-hmm.
nonetheless.
Fascinating. Well, they're his boots now by right of skeleton stealing. Um, so Kidlack is going to continue on past the skeleton. Well, there's a skeleton down here. He had boots, but they're mine now. Kitlak is going to yell back over his shoulder. Anything down here?
Um, you see the more traditional sort of entrance, and you realize that this is the one that has the hidden rock face, where if you just slip out in the right way, you'll be on the other side of the tunnel.
Hmm.
If you stick your nose out, you can absolutely smell that terrible room not too far from there.
Okay. Does Kit like hear anything that? Well, no. This is all we saw this coming in, sort of.
Yeah, you just didn't want to go to the poop corner, so you didn't actually go into this room very far.
Okay.
Where you are is actually fairly clear of it. It's all kind of over here. It's a little
Hmm.
down here. But yeah, it makes sense why no one else has found it, or if they did, they got trapped somehow.
Kitlak is gonna scooch on out.
Are you going to just push your way through again?
I mean, is there a more elegant way of doing that that doesn't involve me taking force damage from an illusion?
You'd have to roll investigation to find out.
Nah.
However, I will give you advantage because you did figure it out last time.
Okay, well that's better than the 3 that I just rolled in theory. Yes, that is a 15.
You now know that they tend to use some sort of kind of um, a mark that only dark vision can see, and now that you're looking around, it's higher up. In fact, you kind of have to stretch to reach it, but you can
Hmm.
find the mark, the one that will make the illusion intangible, so you can just walk through.
Yep.
Um,
Kitlak's gonna bip it.
yep, and surprisingly enough, on the other side, this one apparently isn't meant to be as hidden because it's semi-translucent as he walks through this time, and you guys all see the skeleton.
What kind of skeleton is it?
Humanoid.
What kind of humanoid skeleton is it?
Roll me a medicine check.
I mean, just from the skull, it's you can rule out like kobold, right?
Oh no, this is like human size. It just doesn't have
Yeah.
um,
Like I'd imagine like a
minotaur
human.
horns, and it doesn't
Yeah.
have centaur legs. Like it is
It's not a
humanoid.
dragonborn. Yeah.
30-20.
Dirty 20. Okay, here's what you get. It is humanoid, but it's not human. Its arms and legs are a little too long for its body, and its head is a little oddly. The skull is a little oddly shaped, a little more oblong than it should be.
Oh, it's a slender man.
But it doesn't match any species you know off the top of your head. There also doesn't seem to be um, a jaw or a mouth or anything like that. It's kind of weird. Although maybe it just disintegrated over time. Absolutely no
Oh.
teeth.
This is
Uh-huh.
they will like point out those aspects of the skeleton. Does that sound familiar to anyone?
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Would there be any hole in the skull, say from some sort of parasite puncturing its way inside?
Well, you'd have to examine it more closely.
I mean, uh if Shay is like pointing it out, then Kitlak will go back and like kind of poke at it a little bit.
Go ahead and make me an your own medicine check, but I'm going to say you had help. How's that?
Okay.
And check out those
So
boots.
advantage. I'll roll and see if I crit. So that is a 21 plus medicine is 22.
Um, no, there isn't like a hole where something might have cracked into the skull. There is, however, what looks like to be um two holes, almost
Hmm.
equidistant across the skull,
On what
as
part of it?
as if something had clamped down where there would be right above where there would be ears, and just put two sharp spikes through. If you had to guess.
Hmm. Well, it looked like whatever killed this thing was not especially fun to go up against. Oh, it's probably one of the goats, isn't it?
You didn't
Would it
see their
be?
teeth. It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
It's a
Well, don't they
goat
have like
man.
weird prongy like spike feet?
Oh, yes, they absolutely do. And it's almost about the right size. You could see it. You're not sure how they would get their legs at that angle to do that, or why they would be in a secret chamber, or anything like that, because there's certainly no goat body in here. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's entirely plausible somehow. It's a mystery.
Let, let's not dally around this. Kitlag says, kind of gently setting down the skeleton. I don't like any part of that, and I'm going to ignore it and the
Ex-
creeping sense of dread it engenders in me.
Except the boots.
Except the boots.
Did
Which
she
you
shake
guys
him?
didn't see him take and put into his bag.
He said he grabbed the boots.
Yeah. Kit
Oh,
like loudly announced that he grabbed the boots. He's not about to like pocket loot without telling people he's doing it, at least
Did she?
people in his party.
Yeah, she doesn't care about the boots. Did you shake him out first? I'd shake him out.
I mean, I give them a once over.
Okay, so okay. Secret passage there. Is that? Yeah, that must have been what Cassie felt, right, Cassie?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. I couldn't imagine what else it could be.
Perfect. Onward and downward.
all right. You head on down, and it's not exactly stairs down like they had carved in some other places. This is more of a tunnel down. You go down about 20 feet, and it becomes a new mini labyrinth, really. We don't have a map for this one, but Theater of the Minded, you can see more of the original mining colony here. Um, you see where certain digs had obviously followed a vein, exhausted it, and then transformed it into rooms. Most of the furniture has decomposed or is just gone. There's less and less trash as you go on. Uh, there are
Does it
some rooms. Oh, go ahead.
does it look like this is more carved by the people coming after than the people who did like carve the original rooms up above?
Uh, roll me your investigation or history. If you have any stone kenning, you
It
get
was
that
no.
bonus.
What's an 8 for either?
Could go either way.
Um, so is it more or less? You said there are more rooms, but is it more or less a dead end kind of a thing?
Oh no, there is definitely there is an obvious path down. Um, it's somewhat circular as you travel, uh, which makes sense. They would probably want to search the entire interior of the plateau as they went down, so it's a bit of a spiral. But like I said, you can see where they followed veins of probably precious minerals and ores, possibly gems, but then reached an end point and then started converting them into places to live or places of work or well, that was probably a jail cell given the bars in there. Um,
And is this still on the map? All of this?
no, your map has ended. All your map had
And
really
it
was kind
ends
of that area.
here. Oh, okay.
Yeah. You
Are there symbols at this spot here?
um no, that's just the normal path down. The map was a very limited map. You have a feeling examining it that there were probably multiple pages that have been lost, or you didn't find them in the trash, or maybe they decomposed. But all you got was the surface level, the entrance level, basically. You didn't get the complete map. You got a partial map, or a minimal map, I should say.
Uh, but so more down. Unless you want to look in the jail cells.
Oh yeah, you can examine the rooms, the jail cells. That was probably well, that was another garden, and there are more dead plants in there. Would you like to examine that
Oh,
room?
there's dead plants. Oh no! We're gonna stop.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's not on the main path. It's one of the side tunnels. You can easily avoid it.
Kitlak's gonna take a gander at the jail cells. What purpose could those possibly serve in what's essentially a junkyard?
Well, it wasn't always a
Guidance.
junkyard, remember?
Yeah, that's
It
fair.
used to be a colony.
Uh,
That's 11.
And so
uh,
what? Oh,
Genevieve
go
is
ahead.
also gonna
I'm assuming
glance in.
investigation. Sorry.
So you're just investigating the cells to try and figure out why they were here, or just investigating to see if there's anything?
Kind of both. I mean, I primarily to see if there's anything there, but also to kind of like passively determine who or what they held.
These are not like the fancy cages up above. These are more like the jail cells you're used to. They probably held people. Um, and it's not like it's an extensive one. This is obviously another mining vein, but it wasn't a deep one or a long one. So this is either one of many jail cells throughout the mine, or they didn't have much crime or reason for crime. If there are any bloodstains, they've long since blended into the stone. There aren't any
Mm.
skeletons, so that's a plus already. And with an 11, you found a deck of cards.
Ooh.
Looks like three
Gene-
Dragon Ante.
Genevieve got a non-nat 20.
On her investigation.
Yes, for loot.
All right. You are also checking out the jail cells. You hear Kitlak go, ooh, over a deck of cards, and you, checking under what was a decomposed mattress, is now just kind of fibers piled up together. You find another deck of cards. This one kind of shimmers around the edges.
Ooh.
She is definitely gonna look that over. Um, but she's not gonna draw a card. She's gonna check it out. Does it feel magical to the touch? Like she's a druid, so she might not know what kind of magic, but does it feel magical?
There is definitely a hint of magic. It's not strong magic. It is subtle magic. It's for all you know, these are just actual magician's cards or some sort of illusionist cards. You'd have to examine them further. Um, in fact, you could, for roll me your Arcana.
Okay. That's not great. That's a 7.
You know that this is not some sort of magic item that requires um, matching the resonance in order to use it. This is a magic item you can use immediately. You just don't know how it works or what it does.
Genevieve will hold up her deck of cards and say, I think this one's magical.
Tyler,
Wow.
for clarification, yours is just a normal three dragon ante. Although the dragons look different than any dragons you've seen before.
Well, Kitlak hasn't seen a lot of dragons in the flesh, so
Fair
that's
enough.
nice.
For flavor's sake and for your knowledge, instead of the normal, what is it, red, gold, and blue dragon, it is the solar, lunar, and a green dragon, but it's not quite the right green. It's a different green, kind of a greenish blue.
Hmm.
All right.
Seems to
Urged
be a
on by the
printing
fact
error. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, urged on by the fact that other people seem to be finding stuff and they are there looking for loot. Cassie will look as well. That would be an 18.
And 18, um, are you checking the jail cells or one of the other rooms? Because there are other rooms you can examine.
Was it the other rooms that had the dead plants in them?
One of them had dead plants. One of them was someone. A few of them actually seemed to be like dorm rooms. One was probably a private residence. It wasn't. It was bigger than average, but it only seemed to hold the remains of maybe one household's items. Um, one looks like it might have been an armory at some point. It's the one with the most junk in it, which isn't very much compared to even the piles you saw up there, but there's a couple. Um,
I think she will try the private residence.
all right, the private residence. You examine around. And what did you get again?
18.
18? Um, yeah, there's not much survival. The bed frame appears to have been made of metal. Mattress is also just disused and kind of gone. No blankets. Ironically enough, a fur coat that is molting, which is just weird. Um, although with the heat, that kind of makes sense. Although why they would have one on such a hot asteroid, who knows? And a set of gloves. Seems to be made. They're not usual. They seem to be made of thin chitin and some sinew. They almost seem to pulse.
Ugh.
That is disturbing. Into the bag it goes.
Sorry. That is disturbing. Into the bag it goes.
All right, and then Genevieve held up the deck of cards and said, "This seems to be magical. Would anyone like to examine them further?"
I guess she will take a peek at the cards, magical cards.
Roll me your Arcana.
16.
Genevieve, do you mind handing them over to Shay?
No.
All right, so as you take the cards, you also see the shimmer around the edges. You kind of flip through them. You fan them. You are not a card expert. You do not know card tricks, and yet
Yeah,
it
she's not
seems.
looking at his card. She's looking at it as a magical object.
Yes, no, I know. I'm just saying it seems almost natural the way you're fanning and flipping, and you realize this is a trick deck, but it's a little more special than a normal trick deck. Oops, that didn't work. Okay, hold on. Here is what they are. And to read it, since it didn't really come through, it is a card sharps deck. It doesn't require attunement to use, and you know they can be used to do a bit of damage or cast a bit of spell, but only in a limited way.
I was thinking about having one of those as loot for you guys on Friday.
I would not be surprised, in all honesty.
I mean, you were in the guards' quarters. It makes sense. You know, they're playing cards
Yeah.
somewhere.
Assuming that we survive, we might have a
True.
chance.
Pish. Pish.
Although I do
Oh,
have something fun in mind for Friday. You'll see.
So Shay,
yeah,
you know what the
Shay will say what she thinks about the cards' abilities and hand them back to Genevieve.
And Genevieve will pocket those.
and Shay, since everyone else is looking around in a random room, would you like to look around in a random room?
I think if she looked anywhere, she would be looking like at the in the direction of the room with the leaves, the dead leaves, but she wouldn't be going anywhere near. She wouldn't be doing it,
Okay,
going
roll me an
on the
investigation, and
leaves.
I will be right back while you do that.
Ugh, these rolls, man.
Seriously, tonight's been something else.
I mean, I rolled like crap last week with the with all of my attacks and everything, and then this week it's like, oh, I'm investigating all the stuff.
Yeah, I got a number of bad rolls on Friday. It happens.
Sorry about that. What'd you get?
6.
Well, they certainly look like the ones upstairs. Feels a bit more humid.
I feel like I've rolled. Did I roll before to see if she recognized the leaves? I can't
Yes, and
remember.
you did not.
I didn't. Okay.
And with the 6, I'm going to say you still don't recognize them.
Yeah.
But they do
Womp
look
womp.
very much like the ones upstairs. The room just feels a little more humid when you stick your face towards it, and it's you don't know where they got moisture. You probably don't want to know where they got moisture.
Is there more down that we can go?
Oh yeah, no, this is just like the first half of the curve. You can make the second half of the curve and continue down.
And she will lead the way, putting magical marks on the left as she goes.
All right.
Whenever there's a uh, path, choice of path, unless there's dead leaves, and she's not going down.
Yeah, no, there are no dead leaves on the main path. As you continue kind of towards the second half down, there is more rooms. One or two, um, some of them look to be carved a little more intricately, like the two chambers that were up top, rather than the basic carve outs into a colony like situation that you encountered the first time. Um, there also seems to be a bit of a color shift as things get darker, which you're all in dark vision, so you can't really tell that because none of you see color in the dark. But you do eventually get down. There seems to be what might be a guard post, or was at one point. There seems to be uh, this would be the second room of the post that you came across. More quarters, although these look a little more regimented. Um, and yeah, another dead leaf room that obviously I doubt anyone's going to go in.
Certainly not.
Yeah, Kitlak's gonna avoid the hell out of that.
Right, and then you see another slope down, another about 20 feet, and that'll lead you to the next level. Do you go down it?
Sure.
Yeah, she will lead the way if ever, unless people are investigating stuff.
Anyone want to search any more rooms or move down to the next level?
I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, I think Kitlak is as
Yep,
well.
All
likewise.
right. Fingers crossed this fits the board.
Drum roll. Would you like some
Yes.
assistance? All right.
Secret passage.
Secret passage. Boop a doop doo 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 doo. All right. Let's guess that'll do it. Nope, that's still too big. How about doop a doop boop boo doo? Hop hop ba doo. Yeah, that should do us. All right, there you go.
Thank you. and you all enter a new level that definitely was a mining level, but has definitely been carved a bit more. Uh, Earlier, Shay, you asked if it was obvious if they were the same people who had carved it before or not. Now the difference is a little more obvious. There are places where obviously um, someone has built into or over what were the original colonies mining caves into a different sort of design. It is also true darkness here, so it's not magical, but there is no light from the surface at all.
How does that affect dark vision?
It doesn't really affect anything, but in terms of your vision, it just is. But yes, you're on a whole new level. Where would you like to go next?
Hmm. So, Kitlak, if he's up here, he can kind of see this whole shindig, right?
Yes, you can see that there is a platform seemingly built. You kind of descend that little ramp onto a platform design for some reason.
I don't think Kitlak's going to descend that just yet. He's checking it out first and foremost, making sure that it's not dumb to touch.
Go ahead and make me an investigation.
Guidance. It's a crit.
Nice. Yeah, it is actually very sturdy. It is well worn, and everything else is like centuries, easily 1,000 years, 700 to 1,000 years old. This looks more like 400 years old to your eye. As a
Hmm.
kobold, there's just sort of that instinct. You know how old certain rocks are. Still
Hmm.
abandoned, but abandoned a lot more recently. Um,
Interesting.
in geologic terms, I should say. Uh,
Hmm.
Whatever disaster befell the first colony, if they moved deeper, it befell them a second time, or it didn't stop what was coming, it just delayed it. You don't know. It could be either one. It does not traverse the entire cave complex. In fact, uh, you would presume that there are parts of their stone construction that may have either worn away or just no longer exist because of the time. Whether
Hmm.
that's because of time or something else down here, that you don't know.
Hmm. Well, that in mind, Kitlak is going to kind of gander around over here in this area. Anything jump out at him, literally or metaphorically?
Nothing jumps out literally. You do see a sharp right turn there. You can't see what's beyond that, other than there is a
Hmm.
little cave in, so it's going to be a narrow squeeze for, well, a normal sized human. For you, you think you can actually probably get through that pretty easily. Shay, with their
Hmm.
trauma, might not.
Oh, poor Shay.
Yeah, as soon as we get to the interesting part, you want to take the lead, huh?
I'm sorry. It just seemed very interesting.
No, no, you've got prestidigitation too. You can put down the markers if you want.
No, I don't
No,
look.
no, no, I
No, no,
insist.
I don't. No, I
No,
insist.
no,
I
you
don't
go
want to.
first.
Look, it's your game. It's your ball game. I'm just very curious.
You've already been rolling dice. It's fine.
I don't know what you're talking about. I have cards, not dice. Kitlike is going to take 5 steps back and let Shay take the lead. It's important to them, he sees.
Um, can I insight check Kitlak? Kitlach?
Sure, what are you trying to insight?
Kitlike.
Is he afraid?
Roll it. Let's find out.
This is kind of, I don't know. This is more on Tyler's. Oh
Mm.
God, no, 6.
Mm. Tyler?
Um, I mean, you have no idea. Kitlak is he tries to conduct himself with an air of what he sees as professionalism, and that's kind of the attitude he's assuming right now is just very cut and dry. Like, nope, nope, this is what you want, and therefore it will happen. You know, if you're important to the team, you're an important asset. Um, he's not doesn't appear to be afraid or concerned about anything. He's just, if anything, over enthusiastic and forgot his place in the broader structure of things.
Yes, the sorceress leading, taking point. It's-
You wanted it. Gillian
she
gave it to
didn't.
you.
She took it from
Genevieve.
Genevieve because a she felt bad for hitting her with her spell.
Um, is the
I mean, Killick's a
ground
fighter, but
here
he's not much of one.
is the ground here paved or is it just like the cave floor?
It's more stony than the cave floor you encountered before. And as you, I mean, if you examine where Kitlak was initially examining, that is a paving of some sort, although you'd have to get closer to actually examine it. Where you are, it just feels more like it's stone. Um, as
Like
if there wasn't minerals or anything that they expected down here, just stone.
Oh, that's not me.
after your peak, which direction do you think we should go?
Oh, well, if I'm being consulted in all this, um,
Of course you are. We're a team. Of course.
well, here's my worry. My worry is this is a large central area and a balcony is overlooking it, and there appears to be some sort of pit area. Now, if we went around to the side, I would assume that we would descend into the large central area at some point. Although I don't know that for certain. I instinct tells me that I would not want to be in the middle of the ground on this area. That's what you call a kill box. It's not a live box, it's a kill box. You don't want to be there. All that said, I think we should go with the plateau, the bridge area over here, Kitlek indicates. It seems eminently more survivable, and at least it's the high ground.
Okay. Oh, crap, Genevieve, didn't I? No, I grabbed C. Sorry. She will continue leading the way. Can she investigate enough to realize that this is a triangle and we don't have to put a thing down?
Um, yeah, you're. It's easy enough to figure that out. You do have dark vision, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can easily figure that out.
Genevieve is gonna walk over here and step on the paved area, and she's gonna just for a second just kind of tap her foot a little bit on it, listening to the sound.
Roll me nature or investigation, your choice.
Well, that's 11 nature, but this is more a thing that she likes to do on paved surfaces than trying to figure anything out.
As you step down on it, it is definitely stone, but when you do, there is a bit of a pulse and a sound that's not just stone. That's another sort of you kind of hear that when when you're in your druid days, your pre-exploring druid days, the elders were practicing shapeshift forms and attacking them. That sounds almost like an armor carapace mixed in with the stone. And as you step down on it, there's just a little pulse along. They're almost vein-like as you do it. It's a little dull purple color.
Genevieve is going to step back off it.
That's weird. Why does it do that?
Uh, it reminds me of a carapace. I'd be cautious about stepping on it.
Okay. She's gonna listen to see to if she can hear anything that uh, might have been awoken because of whatever we just stepped on.
Make me a perception check.
Genevieve is going to kneel down and just place a gentle hand on whatever this is, to see if she can tell, like, if it's hurting, if, like, it was forced into some kind of form that it shouldn't be.
Okay,
I
roll
don't know
me
what that would be.
your
Nature or medicine?
nature, medicine, insight, or investigation. Choose one and let me know. What was your perception, Shay?
7. I hate my
7?
dice.
Uh, no, you don't hear anything. In fact, while it did kind of pulse in
No.
color, you didn't hear a sound.
Oh my goodness, people. Can
Yep.
we like
Here we go.
reload tabletop?
Here we go. No, I was gonna do a medicine, but that was only a 8, so she can't tell. It's probably too foreign to her.
It's very foreign, but what I can tell you is that it's not alive. You get that much. You don't feel a pulse. Granted, it may not have a pulse, but you're pretty sure it's not alive. 80%, maybe 77.
She'll say, I don't know if it's alive, but we may wish to be careful. I may want to hurt something that's just trying to survive. Not like this, anyways. If it's attacking me, I, I wouldn't care. But I can't tell if it's stuck in this form or. So let's just tread carefully.
Tread carefully or go the other way.
I'm sorry, I'm a little out of my depth with this one, so
Would anyone
might
else like to
be
try and roll?
might be a group vote on that one.
Kitlak is gonna take a pebble and just chuck it on that thing and see what it does.
Okay, you chuck a pebble. It lands as just a tiny little pulse of color, like almost like a spark, really. And it is in the shape of veins along the stone. Um, how is Kitlak's artistic eye?
Uh,
He did the jacket, so the back of the jacket. So
Kitlak strikes me as like like when there are like certain kids in like high school or junior high who like really get into that like I can draw anything kind of vibe, and like they aren't really good at it, but they do have enthusiasm. That's how I see Kitlak.
Kitlak, what tool proficiencies do you have?
Hmm. Thieves' tools?
Nothing artistic, though.
I mean, stealing things is an art.
Yeah, no. Roll me. Just roll me a straight intelligence check. No proficiency on this one.
Mm-hmm. So 19.
You saw Genevieve step upon it first. You then saw how you tossed the pebble. The artist in you, what it is, what you consider the artist in you,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thinks, you know, it's kind of aesthetically pleasing.
I think we're scared of art, people. And Kitlak is just going to trot forward and start walking on it.
Yeah, and it is sturdy as stone. It does kind of feel like you're stepping on chitin a bit as well. And as you step, you see every step you make, there's a little just pulse of light. There's not a vibrating or a sound or anything like that. It's just a bit of light that shows veins in the floor. It's certainly creepy. It's certainly weird, but at the same time, you can see where it's worn away to normal stone, just 5 feet away from you, even.
Hmm.
And it's obviously part of the same thing. It's just been worn over time. Um, Maybe some cave-ins that have just solidified into walls at this point, from the looks of things. And you think this was just how it's intended to look, is to be slightly creepy. It's lighting up the area. It's as if roll me a quick insight.
Okay.
People
Kitlak
consider
is going to
horror art.
Kitlak is
Okay,
going to do a tap dance on this thing.
Oh,
first,
here we go.
first of all,
That's a dirty 20.
caution is not fear.
And
Okay, Kitlak, with a dirty 20, as you're tap dancing your way, you realize that's the point. By stepping on this, you are lighting up things. It probably looks, if you were, I mean, for you, it almost lights you up all the way to your head. But for a normal human, this would be like weird eldritch lighting that is coming up from below and painting the top half in shadow, in a haunting light. This is. It's aesthetically pleasing to walk across, and it's very kind of pretty in its own creepy way. But this is also a bit of performance. This is, if someone wants to make a grand statement, where they're standing is going to make them look imposing and terrifying. And this is
Mm.
a balcony.
Yeah, so Kitlak was kind of on the money about like it being a some kind of speaking area or something, you know. Um, Kitlak is going to kind of peer off the balcony into the standing room, seats, whatever, and just kind of see if there's any observations he can make about any of that. Like, is there anything out there? Is there anything that looks like it's, you
Which
know,
side? The big side or the small side?
big side?
All right, go ahead and place where you'd like to stand.
Kitlak is going to put himself right there.
As you
Take a
stand
peer
there, it
over.
for you again, for a normal human, that's maybe about waist height, maybe a little above it. For you, you can stick your snout over, and like it's this is going to be about the same for everyone here. It is not your height. It is designed for taller creatures. Um,
Hmm.
as you look over into the darkness, it's not that high a balcony. It looks like it's maybe, maybe 40 feet down. Like you could jump it and probably not die. Enough that if someone was trying to look imposing with the light show, it absolutely would work.
Hmm.
Especially for simple minded people, which you certainly are not, Kitlak. You can see what they're doing here. Um, you're not sure if it's a gladiatorial pit, because you can. What is your dark vision distance?
60 feet. So, like, assuming each of these is five, that's about yay far, is as far
Yeah,
as you can see.
that's what I was checking. Is you can actually see there's another set of steps over here. Like they could
Hmm.
easily march in and go down into the pit, and you have a feeling that's the point. You also can are guessing that if there isn't a mirror on the other side, that might be the only way in. You're not sure. Um,
Hmm.
Although you do see a bit of an entrance over here too, just no stairs, no fancy stairs. Um, Maybe it's a place of gathering for commoners and nobles. The nobles get stairs, the commoners don't. Maybe it's prisoners, but why would you have open doorways? Although maybe the cell doors have diminished. You don't know what's going on behind because there is a cave in, and whatever was down there is kind of just gone, along with most of the back end of the structure. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, you're not sure what it is. With your and whatever stone this is, it's dark enough you can't tell if there's bloodstains or not here. It could just be a place for someone to creepily intimidate its citizens, or it could be that these colors are the traditional colors of their people, and creepy is just who they are.
No, I'm not going to judge them for being creeps. Kitlak has known plenty of creeps.
You can also see from there, if you look over to the right, there is a kind of a where it's the floor is there, but the balcony has worn down to nothing. Um, it's again a steep drop, but you could just kind of slide down into the pit if you wanted to from over there,
Hmm.
or you could just walk normally around the left or right side. But nothing's
Okay.
triggering, nothing's coming alive that you can see.
There's no sort of imminent danger.
Not that you can sense. No, it
Fair
just looks like
enough.
a creepy, abandoned, for the lack of a better term, audience hall, audience
I
cave.
Kitlak is going to like stage whisper back to the rest of the party. I think this is safe for now.
At that, Genevieve will start to follow after Kitlak. And
Same thing. You see the lighted veins on every step you do. And in fact, where Kitlak is
I said
standing,
Sky, I meant Cassie.
the light isn't going out from the veins; they are staying lit. Whereas the rest of you, it is lighting, and when you step away, it dims.
uh,
Is Cassie flying?
No, Cassie's not flying.
Genevieve will just reiterate caution is not fair. The last time
Are,
I entered an area with a lack of caution, I nearly died. Happened
now, are,
like a little over an hour ago.
are you telling yourself that, or are you telling us that?
Yes.
In fairness, it's been about 2 hours now.
No, it took like you had to roll for that, wasn't it? It was like 3 hours, I think. 3 hours
Yeah, it might
plus.
have been 3 hours. Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah, it was 3 hours, and then another hour on top of that for the short rest.
So I'm going to say it's been about five. Yeah, you know what? 6 hours total from when you left that surface level at this point. It is, I will say, slightly cooler down here, by about 10 degrees compared to the surface, which is actually almost cooler than the Crimson Plateau's internal. But then the Crimson Plateau's internals city is a city. This place is abandoned, probably.
She's just waiting to see what Kitlak is gonna do before she follows.
I mean, in fairness, Kitlak is also waiting to see what Kitlak is going to do. Um,
I could
as
throw a
Shake,
I could
oh,
throw a
good,
rock over the ledge, see if anything pops up. We're short
wouldn't be a
enough we
bad
could
idea.
we're short enough we could hide behind it.
So this seems like an auditorium.
Is some sort of speaking hall. I believe the special effects are there to make whoever's standing up here appear mystical and imposing.
Not
Uh
working.
Genevieve is going to take out 3 stones, cast a magic stone on them, so that way they're magical stones,
Okay.
as the name implies, and then she is going to lob all 3 over the lip of the balcony here. Hit somewhere in here.
Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second here.
And then she's going to get ready to duck, just in case.
Whack.
What is everyone's? Let's see. You know what? Go ahead and make me a. Oh, you know. Give me 1 second. Oh no, that's a nat one. Never mind. Yeah, the stones are thrown, and they hit the ground. You hear a bit of an echo, but that's it.
I guess it's fine then. I'd still like to avoid it if possible. Perhaps we can see what's further down.
Yeah, does anyone have dark vision beyond 60 feet?
Yet.
Negative.
Not Kitlack.
Shay?
No.
Yeah, so you're going to have to either go down or go to the left or right to see where they lead.
Shay won't be left behind. She'll kind of like I don't know if you've seen those bridges that are like kind of digitally see through, but as soon as you step on them, they start cracking, and it freaks
Mm.
people out. That's like that. She's running across that. I would freak out if I'd stepped on a bridge that did that.
Unless something happens, Genevieve's going to keep walking as far as her dark vision will allow, see what's what, and then keep moving.
You see where you're standing now, where the strange stone and veins and chitin kind of are worn down into just regular stone. You see where the balcony is broken and there's a bit of a fall that you can just slide down to get to the pit. And you see, if you go a little further, there's more of that chitinous ground. Um, you don't know if it lights up or not over to the right. But you can see that part of it is just gone. It was meant to continue and it's just gone.
Um, she's going to feel kind of bad. She kind of misses the cool little step. In fact, she's going to turn around and just tap on it a couple more times. Just for good measure. It's one of her traits, by the way. Sometimes she likes to take extra steps because it sounds so different than the dirt she's used to.
Yeah, it does sound a little different. With the echo, if you were a bit heavier, maybe were wearing a different set of boots, this would be an imposing step with the light. It is definitely theatrical. Why the colonists or the second generation of colonists or whoever made this did this, who knows? But it's kind of cool. You've encountered some new sort of ground covering.
She'll keep moving. Can she perceive any sounds around these
Yeah,
corners?
Shay is not stopping. She will continue until she gets off this stuff.
Okay, roll me perception.
There we go. That is a 18.
You don't hear anything except the echoes of your own steps.
She will continue forward.
And
Shay
there's that
will stick
fancy
with
floor
Genevieve.
again.
Again with this?
Uh, Genevieve will step on it. Now that I
This
know
one
it,
doesn't light up.
does it still feel?
Oh, it feels exactly like the bridge. It looks exactly like the bridge. You can actually see where the chitin and stone are melded, hammered, whatever together to make that vein-like appearance. But there's no light to this one.
Now that I know it's not going to, that it's not alive, feels kind of nice.
Is it?
It is very supportive of the lower back.
And then she will continue on and see these stairs.
You can see the stairs. You also see to the right. There's a bit of a cave in, but there's also a small space you could squeeze through and slide down.
What are you trying to do, Deshay?
Exploit a new weakness in a character.
Now, does Genevieve see it? Like, it's pretty clean in here. I'm assuming, like, no, like, things on the floor to investigate.
Nothing here specifically, no. Um, Clean is a relative term. There is definitely dust and debris from the cave in and erosion. The floor itself is just dirty just because of that. But otherwise, yeah, there isn't really trash here. There isn't really anything here, as far as you can tell so far. The floor has been
Is
the most interesting thing.
is there a perhaps a bit of floor that is has been detached from the rest of the floor?
Your best bet is to check where the edges were worn out. If you wanted to do that, you can investigate.
She does want to do that because that is pretty interesting. Would go very nicely with her fossilized lily.
And what tools are you proficient in?
Yes. Herbalism and bird pipes.
Okay, so what's that total for investigation?
21.
21. Yeah, there is about a 2 by 2 section of the floor you can. Looks like it's cracked just the right areas that you could peel up and take with you. It's about an inch thick.
Cassie, can you help me with this?
I'm going to let the dog out. I'll be
Yeah.
right back.
I sure. You sure can.
And that'll go in the bag of holding.
Okay, I'm back. You're going to pry it up?
Yes, with Cassie's help.
All right, this is a very simple strength athletics check.
Cassie, what is your strength?
Not a whole lot. It's a 9, so
Same as mine.
Just
Do I
remember
get
you
it
have
with
advantage with the
advantage?
health.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Let me just roll a second time, see if I get higher. I do, in fact. That's an 11.
And 11, yes, you are able to. It's not going to have a very smooth edge. It's not going to be exactly right. And it's going to um, peel off. Huh. It's going to
Sorry,
peel off. You get it in your hand.
it's actually a 13 because you said strength athletics, and I have a +1.
Fair enough. A 13, yeah. You peel it off. You hold it in your hand. It's not that heavy, but it reminds you of something. Roll me your nature real quick.
26.
Okay.
Damn. That'll
With
do
a
it.
nat 20, you examine this. You feel it in your hands, and you actually weirdly just take a second to lick it, just a little. And you realize this is essentially like a scab, dead skin that is calloused over.
Oof.
And
Don't
you
like that.
realize the part that was lighting up was likely still alive on some level. So whatever created it and the light show had some organic properties. This you're now seeing as it wears out. This is like just dried skin on a surface waiting to be cracked, crushed, or peeled. If you reconnected them, maybe it would heal up and be restored. But right now, yeah, it is a dying stone walkway. It's fascinating. You you're pretty sure the chitin is part of the process because that's certainly organic. You don't understand how it works. if you could, anything that you design with it, you could have fancy glowing sidewalks in your parks.
She is definitely sticking that in Cassie's bag of holding. Sorry about this, Cassie.
And with a nat 20, it's not sentient. Like, there is just enough organics to make that bioluminescent effect. It is not actually a living organism, so to speak. In that,
She is not going to share the fact that it's a scab with the others. She gets the feeling they probably would be, at least some of them would be a little grossed out by that.
yep, fair enough. So where would you like to go next?
Uh, Genevieve, if no one else is moving, Genevieve will move down the stairs.
All right, go ahead.
Everyone stays up top.
Now that they know what they're
That's
stepping on, no one wants to step on it.
No, Kitlack is still tap dancing on it.
It's just not lighting up. How disappointing.
she just wouldn't have stopped on it if she sees that there's regular rock.
As you get to the bottom, yeah, you're about 30 feet down from where the balcony was. This is also kind of just normal stone floor, like what you entered in on. Well worn, well padded down. Um, and you can see there's a corner here and a corner here. Which way would you like to go? Oh, and there's also some space over here.
What do y'all think?
Did we want to try and get back to that auditorium room, or did we want to check other things?
I mean, we're here for a reason. So whatever might seem like the best way to go to find stuff for the Fae over in Mistmar.
So probably not the auditorium room.
Yes, I get a vibe from the auditorium that I don't like. I recommend sticking to the sides. More defensible.
And now she wants back in. I will be
I
right
would
back
tend to
again.
agree with just that.
Say that one more time, Cassie.
Yes, I would tend to agree with just that.
Someone is very
Kathy,
fussy
having
on
been
game
a
nights. Anyway, so you're headed that way?
yes,
Yeah, I think so.
All right. It is not a sharp right
Yeah.
turn. It's a simple cave turn. And as you make that corner, Genevieve, you see a chamber like the one on top, except there's no hole in the center. You think you found a landing pad. Kind of odd because it is not. You don't think it's in the right location compared to that first floor. But what do you know? It appears to be the receiving when you land. There are more cages there.
Well, I think we found the way down from up top. Must be a slide though, because it's not quite in line.
I wonder if we could chip away at this hole, go down further. She's gonna not put her weight on it, but she's gonna stamp on the center hole.
It is solid. It is as solid as the rest of the floor. Which makes sense if it's the landing spot. Although that was over 20, 40, 70. That's over 150 feet down. People usually die from a fall that height. You're not sure how they landed here without dying.
Well, it must have been a slide. Came in at an angle.
Is there trash here too, or
There's no trash on the floor that you
there's
can see.
skeletons?
There's no skeletons either, but make me an investigation check, see what you find. Would anyone else like to enter the room, or Cassie and Kitlak standing watch?
Oh, we're gonna come down to the room too. Kit like wouldn't miss out on that for the world.
Oh my! Stop it.
He's not going to stay behind.
7,
Kit like will investigate too. Guidance.
What'd you get, Goldwyn?
7.
The cages are a bit a bit shadowed. It's hard to tell what's in them.
23 for Kitlak.
Okay. And for Genevieve?
Only a 9.
Okay. And Cassie, are you going to look too?
May as well. That is a 21.
All right. With a 20.
Oh, sorry, that was investigation. I was looking at insight. That's actually a 23.
Okay, you got a 23, and Kitlak got a 23, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Kitlak, you're a kobold. You're looking inside the cages just to see if there's anything of interest in there. And in here, you find a helmet.
Ooh. What does the helmet look like?
Um, it fits on your head. It has a few wires, a couple crystals seeming to be embedded in it. It's looks vaguely familiar. Because you absolutely recognize the spelljamming helmet when you see one.
Kitlak is gonna immediately tuck that away in his mundane backpack.
And Cassie, um, you're searching the room. You looking around. You are clever enough to look up, and you see the hole in the ceiling. You also see that there's actually something kind of jammed in the hole. Um, kind of round, kind of. Actually, it's more of a angled, V-shaped one. You could probably. It's only 10 feet up. You could fly up and probably try and unstick whatever it is if you wanted to.
Yeah, I think Cassie would do exactly that.
It doesn't.
She is gonna give it a quick once over before she does that, though.
Okay. Um, Looking it over, it is. If this were round, it would have fit through. It's just because it has some odd angles to it. It just kind of got caught on the lip, or maybe someone jammed it in there deliberately. One of the two. Um, but it is there. You don't sense anything dark from it.
Yeah,
Was Kit
then she will do exactly that. She's gonna pry it free.
All right. As you kind of shuffle it and get it out, you realize it's a shield. It's an oddly shaped shield, but it's a shield.
That is unusual. I wonder what was doing up there.
As soon as you dislodge it, a corpse just falls out and lands in the center of the circle. I say corpse, it's bones, and then when it lands, it's mostly dust.
Ah, that's where it came from. All right.
was Kit like being sneaky or no?
No, not at all.
Or people must have died trying to protect themselves from something.
But that's a spelljammer helmet.
It is indeed. And we can figure out what we're going to do with it when we survive this place.
You got a 23, right?
Yeah.
With a 23, you absolutely recognize a jammer helmet that is slightly broken. Might need some fixing. And that's about all you can find in this room. It's creepier when it's darker for some reason. That skeleton falling out of the circle in the ceiling probably didn't help either. Um, but there is no exit otherwise. This is a dead end.
Well, we have a couple choices. We can either go into the large room that we're avoiding, or we can head back out and hope that one of these things will be worth the dirt.
Personally, I think we should continue to look. We're just now getting to the good stuff.
Then to the large room.
Ugh, much as I hate that, that might be the place to go. We got to get across it anyway.
Right? You see there's this little weird angle here. You think this didn't used to be a weird angle. You think maybe there was either more at some point and it just got caved in, or there was less and it just got worn away. But there is a path that you notice the cave, the just blank entrance when you were on the balcony, Kitlak. You're pretty sure that's where this tunnel leads to.
Mm-hmm.
So what is our turn order, or line order, I should say?
Kitlak is going to go first unless somebody else really wants that.
Genevieve will be in the middle, and she'll just say to Kitlak, I've got one more use of my wild shape, but I may need to stay up in case we get injured so I can heal you.
Kitlak is going to nod in recognition and is going to whisper back to the party at large, stay along the sides. Going out in the middle is not a good plan, tactically speaking.
Cassie is happy to take up the rear, even though she's kind of useless in a fight right now. She recognizes that she's, I think, the only one that can come back to life for her fee.
Oh,
So Genevieve's in the rear, or Cassie's in, or
no, I just grabbed the wrong person.
got it. Okay, Kitlak, you take a look into the room and you realize while the pit is about 30 feet down, you also see that in the center it goes even further down. So there's tiers to this standing auditorium. That whole commoners go one way and nobles go another might take more credence with that. But you also see what you couldn't see on the other side is another set of stairs. Uh, sets of stairs leading to not a balcony but a floor of some sort.
All right. Kitlak is going to hug the wall as tightly as he can and make his way over towards the stairs.
Um, where the wall cuts off, there seems to be uh, a large dark doorway. No doors, no nothing like that. It's just dark. Your dark vision cannot penetrate it.
Hmm. Well, but nothing for it but to go towards the ominous darkness.
You see what seems to be a pillar half buried, and if you look across, you can see one that's fallen down. Yeah, so this was an auditorium, and that led to something important back here. Maybe. These stairs are very ornate, um, compared to the other stairs, even.
I think we're following along like a Scooby Doo, creeping through a
I need
thing.
that Scooby Doo
Whoops.
music. As you
Dun
step on the
dun.
stairs, they light up, but not like the balcony. It is still a purple, but it's not a dramatic lighting purple. This is more like an you touch it, it doesn't light you up. It just kind of is a dim purple light on your footstep. Ominous, eerie. It's designed to be creepy. You can already tell that kit like, but it's also designed to be reverent on some level too. Whatever is up these stairs was important to whoever designed this place.
Kitlak is going to gently creep on.
And you reach the dark wall, and you still can't see through it. It is almost like a miasma of darkness. It
Hmm.
is a large doorway, easily 20 feet high, and of course you can tell it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 65 feet across. I mean, this is a huge doorway. People could march up these stairs and walk in straight across easily.
Cassie is going to pick up a piece of rock or rubble and use magical tinkering to infuse it with a 5 foot radius of light,
Okay,
and then she's going to toss it at that wall of darkness.
you toss the light rock at the wall, it passes through. You can't see the light as soon as it goes through the wall.
Could we see the stones that Genevieve threw in the main hall?
They weren't lit up as I recall,
Mm-mm.
right?
No, no, they
They're
just
more than 60 feet away at this point, so no.
Oh, I thought they lit up.
No, it is just a wall of darkness. You can examine it, you can study it, you can plunge your hand in it. What would you like to do?
Uh, Kitlak is just going to take a deep breath, tie one end of the rope that he has onto himself, and just leave it behind him like a tail, um, and say, "Please, somebody grab this." And then he's going to take a step through the wall of shadow.
Genevieve's gonna grab the rope.
And again, how far is your dark vision? 60 feet?
60 feet.
She'll kind of grab a bit more of it, like a tug of war type of thing.
All right, you stick your head through. Okay, this is kind of a thick dark wall. It's about 5 feet thick. You might have to actually step forward to see the other side. Do you do so?
Yes, Kitlak's going to slowly and carefully do so.
Um, do you have magic innately? I can't remember.
I mean, sort of. He's like got dragon blood in him, but like, I don't know.
Is he a
I mean,
spellcaster?
like, yeah, is
He
he a
can
spellcaster?
cast spells. He can cast Guiding Bolt one time a day, and Friends, Guidance, Prestidigitation, Thaumaturgy.
Okay, in that case, you do sense there is and I mean, it was obviously magical, but you do sense a magical essence within that shadow. Um, you would have to roll Arcana to try and identify it, whatever it is. It is not a
Uh,
natural shadow energy, from what you can tell.
Kitlak will do so with a little bit of guidance. That is a 25.
The shadow is made up of, you think, psychic energy, like literal dark thoughts manifest. They're not haunting you or anything like that, but they are keeping this entire wall of darkness just up.
Kitlak is going to say out of the fog, "So, first off, I'm still alive. Anyone bet against that? No? Good. Second off, it
Can
appears that
can
these.
can we hear him?
You can.
It appears that
I
this.
can't hear him.
I could hear you.
Oh,
Therefore, it stands to reason. Second off, this wall of darkness appears to be dark psychic thoughts. So everyone perhaps get very positive very quickly. I want to appreciate the friendship that we all share and how we all have each other's backs, especially Genevieve, who I'm sure has friendship for me, Kitlack.
I think we should pull him out.
No, I'm being positive.
He's talking nonsense.
As you step to the other side of the shadow, Kitlak, you see that the fancy flooring makes way. It's the same coloring, but it seems to be more ornate. You can't see from your position, but you think there's maybe a design inherent in it. You can't see past 60 feet. What you do see are three large pillars still very much intact, and from the shadows, it kind of trickles down into um, canals that turn into a weird kind of milky water that is flowing down the room on both sides of the pillars and then meets past them. You hear it's a silent. It's almost silent, but there's a little bit of the trickle sound of it flowing. Um, you see some larger pillars on either side of you, beyond the three pillars immediately in front of you. You see another canal that the shadows are forming, or another set of canals, I should say. And you hear, I don't want to say respiration, because that's the wrong term, but there is definitely something moist in there that it's not inhaling and breathing out, but it's definitely, if there was breath attached, that kind of be what it sounds like. There's also a dim glow farther in there, but again, you can't really see it because it's not in your dark vision range.
Is it still safe?
Either I need to get out of here or you all need to come in here, and I'm honestly not sure which one.
I,
Genevieve will go through, and she'll just say as she goes through, well, if I need to be positive, I'm positive we'll either leave here rich or not at all.
I'm very positive that this is a unique experience that I'm having that hasn't been seen by many who are still alive.
Is there
um,
anything to tie the rope off to?
um, not really. There's a pillar to your right, but there's not really. It's not. It's built into the wall, the cave wall, so you can't really. Or actually, no. You. Yeah, it's kind of built into the cave wall. You can't really tie anything off to it. And there's not anything
Could
you
she like
really.
wedge it under a scab in the floor and it'll like grow over it and hold
None
it?
of it here is worn down. There's not really anything to wedge up or wedge under, basically.
Could she wedge a spear
Could you
into
stab the potentially living
something?
floor? Absolutely.
Uh, someone say it was not living. Genevieve said it wasn't living.
True. Go ahead. I am going to say make me a strength check to see how well you wedge it into the floor. Kitlak and Genevieve, make me a quick perception check, will you?
A growing apprehension. Kitlak, you better have trained perception.
That's 18.
10.
That's a it's not 12. I'm okay with a 12.
Um, near near one of the large pillars, so across the water canals, about, ooh, about 60 feet away from you exactly, you see what appears to be, it looks like a strange glowing skull with a bit of runes on it and spikes. It's weird looking and it's glowing slightly. With an
Kitlack.
eight,
Oh, go ahead.
with an
Insight.
18, yeah, Shay, you can absolutely stab a spear into the ground. You kind of break into the floor, and you get it pretty solidly in there. Surprisingly enough.
Yeah, she'll tie the rope off and then follow the rope into the thing, thinking good thoughts.
I'm rolling an insight check to see if this might possibly be what Becky, old Becky wanted.
Well, Kitlek, did you tell her about it, or what were you about to say? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see it. Never mind then.
Oh, Kitlack was about to throw a rock at the glowing skull. So,
Um,
Really?
I mean, you got any better
At the
ideas?
treasure? You're gonna throw a rock
interestingly
at the
enough,
A
treasure?
pebble.
interestingly enough,
That's.
there aren't really any pebbles in here that you can see.
We're gonna have to have a talk about treasure hunting.
Kitlack is going to. I mean, I
Uh,
guess all his money is in his gullet, so he can't fish out like a coin and throw it. Um,
Genevieve
But
has a pocket full of stones that she's been using to create magic rocks with, so.
hmm
if you tell Genevieve, maybe she can do it.
That will lead to uncomfortable questions, which Kitlack knows will probably not end up working in his favor.
got a mage hand and catch that rock.
There isn't even a
Stop!
rock
Stop!
yet.
Stop! Stop! Just
There's
stop!
no
Cassie,
Just
rocks.
stop it! You're.
Cassie, are you joining everyone else?
Yeah,
You know,
so
it's
I
kind of
was
like a
trying to
rock,
find
a
a spot to
bullet.
say that.
Oh my!
Cass-
I'm sorry.
Cassie is going to walk in, right beside Shay, basically.
Okay, so are you going to point out that skull, Kitlak?
That looks ominous. Kitlack points at the glowing death skull.
Should throw a rock at it.
You know, I was just thinking that.
Don't throw a rock at it. I knew
There's
that was the
no
first thing you
rocks
were gonna
around
do.
here.
Genevieve, what was that insight check?
I knew you'd want to throw a rock at
10.
it.
No. What did I roll?
Do you know what
You
I
rolled
rolled
an
an
dwarvish?
8.
8, so that's a 12 insight.
Um, go ahead, Kitlak.
Oh, I'm just gonna do a bit. In dwarvish, there's a word that means a face that you can fit a fist into. This is like an object you could fit a rock into. It's begging for it.
Why would you want to damage our treasure?
I'm not damaging it. I'm seeing
You're
what it
throwing
does.
a
It could be
rock at
trapped.
it.
That doesn't mean it's going to be damaged. If it's good treasure, it won't be damaged.
That's not true at all.
With a
I'm
13, yeah. Roll me your Arcana real quick.
Okay.
Actually, anyone that can see the skull can roll Arcana on this if you'd like.
Who can't see the skull?
Well, if
That's better.
Kitlak has pointed it out, then you can look.
That is a 16 Arcana.
Okay.
Huh. That's a 6.
Okay, anyone else?
And that is a 19 Arcana.
All right, and Kitlak, are you rolling Arcana or not?
Yeah, of course he's rolling Arcana. That is a 15.
Then yeah, everyone except Shay, and especially Cassie, those sigils on there, those are planar sigils. These are typically used in high-end magic. So yeah, that might be something that your temporary patron would be very interested in getting their hands on. Being that you're on a planar asteroid that has no coordinates, this could maybe lead to something.
We're not throwing rocks at it. That might be something that old Becky will want.
Well, if we aren't throwing rocks at it, I'm not going to be the one that touches it first. I'll tell you that.
As Cassie and Genevieve fully come into the room, the glow from far distant gets a little brighter, and you're able to see exactly what is resting at the other end of the room.
Uh-huh. Yep. Ah!
Okay, is this the beginning of Baldur's Gate 3?
And there's the skull. And that's where we will leave it until next week. Thank you for joining us, everyone. We will see if anyone survives that thing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no one will survive. Well, he might survive, but unscathed.
Our treasure. Hey, Genevieve said she was certain, she was positive that they were either going to come out here rich or not at all.
All we got to do is be really, really stealthy, guys.
I think Cassie and they don't have any spell slots.
Nope, not a single spell slot. Basically, all I have available to me is acid splash and mending.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of those is useful.
Sorcerer's Burst. I
I
think I have
have
one spell slot.
I have one wild
Yeah, acid
shape. I'm
splash is
sure I
amazing.
can figure.
1d6 damage.
I have one spell slot. I'm sure I can find something that's stealthy in my list of stuff.
You know what? Kitlack still hasn't casted his one use of Guiding Bolt today.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what's needed to kill this thing. So thank you for joining us. You have a bunch of treasure to figure out if you survive, or you're going to leave a bunch of treasure for someone to find another day.
Thank you.